So today we're going to be comparing the film simulation of the Ilford hp5 on the X100V by Fujifilm to the actual 35mm film stock of the Ilford hp5 on the Pentax K1000. I'm going to shoot all of the photos at the same 400 ISO, which is a pretty neutral and versatile ISO film speed. So we're going to compare the two photo outcomes by using different f-stops and shutter speeds. So here we go. So what I started out with was f8 aperture with a 1/250th shutter speed at obviously the 400 ISO. I chose f8 because it's also a very neutral f-stop, and then from there I matched the shot with the shutter speed based off of what looked like it would be the best exposure through my Pentax K1000. So at an initial glance of the scan, this first exposure looks pretty on point to me, which I did again very slightly adjust the shadows, midtones, and highlights during the pre-scan. The darkest point in the photo still has its detail, and the brightest highlight as well retains its detail. Next, with the same settings used on the X100V, the straight out of camera JPEG looks, as in the first comparison that I did in New York, a bit less contrasty, for lack of a better word, just a bit more flat, which after some quick adjustments in Photoshop, and even more so if shot on RAW, could easily be fixed. So next I went up to f13, closing the aperture a bit to allow less light in, and which to my eye looked much better on the LCD screen of the X100V, and also, in my opinion, looks much better here as well, as a directly out of camera JPEG. However, as you can see with the actual hp5 frame, it came out overexposed and much too dark in the dark areas of the scene, using the same settings as it looked better on the X100V. So finally I went back to f8 and upped the shutter speed to 1/500th of a second, which in my opinion came out with almost the exact same outcome as upping the f-stop did. To conclude this video, I'd like to first say that I hope you enjoyed it. I find these differences fascinating, and many factors from the scanner being used to my own opinionated eye, the camera sensor, etc. could be contributing to these differences. And as always, thank you for coming back, and like every other YouTuber asks, please like, subscribe, and comment below. I'd love to hear your feedback.